All right, we are now recording. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad that we could have so many people on the call. This was a really fabulous idea, and I've got to admit, I can't take credit for it. This was Pam's suggestion that we talk about the call from Melanie Mitro and discuss all of our goals. I think it is such a great idea. So, and I would love to, towards the end of the video, Melanie had said, let's take it a step further and create the action plan, and then take it another step further and write down your roadblocks to anticipate, which I think is really smart and really important. And then also she said, take it another step further and, talk about how it's going to feel to achieve all this stuff that we wrote down for 2017. And I think that all of that was just as important because, that is something that I ask some of my challengers. It's something that, Scotty Hobbs has said before that he asks, his challengers before they buy a challenge pack. He says, he talks about their goals, and then he says, how is achieving that goal going to make you feel? And that really puts a lot behind their why they're, buying that challenge pack, why they're joining this challenge group is, talking about how it's going to make them feel. So it is such a good idea to talk about that. So unless since it was your idea, you'd like to start. Do you want to start?
Well, I kind of want to, and I talked to, have you talked to Darla since at all this afternoon?
So, yeah. So, okay. So, Darla had said, break this into 2 calls, that our intentions and what we have done this year deserves a whole call. So I wasn't sure what she referred to. We didn't really have it. We've been trying to talk. We're going to try to talk tomorrow, but, so I don't know. So go ahead, Pam. Why don't you take that away?
Well, what, Darla and I had talked about this because I was driving home and I was so excited about doing this tonight. I could not wait. And so I called her, and so what we talked about was tonight is to just, Melanie said to sit down and write down everything that you've accomplished this year. Because so many times that we get on a call or we get asked, well, what are your goals? What are your goals? How are you going to do your goals? How are you going to get there? But we don't ever stop and think about what we've already accomplished this year. So my thinking and talking to Darla was that tonight, what we would do is just to, as Melanie said, get a glass of champagne or a glass of wine or hot tea or whatever you want to drink and just celebrate what you've done this year. There you go. I have my water. But that to me was an eye-opener for me because I don't think about those things. So if I go back to January and I start thinking about, okay, I did this and I did this and I did this, and it's a whole lot of stuff that we've accomplished in 1 year. Now, granted, we all have big dreams and we have aspirations for next year. But for right now on this call, what we thought we would do is just to celebrate what we've done. And so I have my piece of paper. I did mine. And when I started writing down what I've done this year, I thought, well, dog, I've done a whole lot more than I thought I did. Now, granted, I don't have the rank I want. There are a lot of things that I want for next year, but looking at what I've accomplished this year, it was kind of like that little boost and that push of, yeah, I can do this. I really can do this. And, so, Catherine, do you want to read your list, and we'll let you go first, and then I'll go next?
Sure. You can run the show, my dear. So whatever you say.
Well, tell me what you've done this year.
Okay. So she had said things that I'm proud of and what I've done. So I first want to say that I didn't really list them in some sort of an order. So I did Insanity Max 30. It was a program that really challenged me, and it was a program that I was really scared of because I effing hate cardio. And I knew it was going to challenge me, and I did it with Danny, which we really appreciated because it was something we could bond over. In fact, he started yesterday another round of it, and I think I'm going to join him. I've been kind of deciding starting Monday what I want to do. And until then, I'm going to kind of just join him doing Insanity Max, and I might just stick with that. So we'll see. That's number one, because my health and my fitness is important, just for life in general, regardless of the vital behaviors and, being proof the product works. It's just, it's good to exercise and eat well. So doing Insanity Max 30, I went to Paris, and this is also, important because it was great to do a trip internationally. I also stuck with doing workouts despite having a nerve pinch in my shoulder. I did PiYo and I worked out, and I showed myself that I can work out no matter what, which used to be, looking back 2 years ago. I'm going to sneeze. Or maybe not. Danny, can I have a tissue? Like right now? Thank you. I went to Paris, and then I also proved to myself that, even 2 years ago, I would have used going on a vacation as an excuse for 2 weeks to do nothing and to drink as much as I wanted and to whatever. And it was also great because I noticed, because there wasn't a lot of like vegetables, like fresh vegetables and stuff available. And I'm sure that there was, had we gotten our bearings straight, sooner and kind of figured out where some of the open markets are, that would have happened, but it didn't. And so I wasn't, vegetables weren't readily available. I was feeling really crappy, which really showed me that I was eating really well before that, which wouldn't have been the case. I wouldn't have noticed the difference, between feeling crappy during the trip or feeling, crappy at home, because it all would have been the same. I wouldn't have been eating, very many vegetables. So that was a really great feeling. And then something that's really hard that I don't talk about on my Facebook page, mostly because I'm ashamed of it, is, things that I'm proud of is the fact that I haven't given up with passing my board exam for nursing. And I've talked about it privately, I think with everyone here, or all of but I haven't passed it twice, and it would be really easy to stick with my babysitting job that pays me really well and treats me well, and they're really great kids. But I also know that long term, that's what I want. That's what I went to school for. It's something I'm passionate about. And if we want to spin that into, Beachbody business, it would add so much more to my resume as a coach by saying I'm also a nurse. And I can say that because I graduated from nursing school, but I can't say I'm a practicing nurse because I can't legally practice. So yes, I'm a nurse, but I'm an unlicensed nurse. So the fact that I haven't given up, and I've paid the $350 for the third time this year to take the test again, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Not giving up on that. I think that's really important. Another is reading and listening to the most personal development this year than I ever have in the past, which before I became a coach was 0. So I could say 2015 was a great improvement, but I didn't make it as much of a priority as I did in 2016. 2016, I finished 3 or 4 books, which was big. And in 2017, I have bigger goals for that. But the fact that I go to the barn and I listen to some of the national wake-up calls, if I can load them before I lose reception, or if I listen to Audible, because you don't need reception out there to listen to Audible, that's really important, because it's important just for growth in general, and it makes me feel good. I kept the first 20 pounds that I lost when I started my journey. I've kept that off. I've done the 3-day refresh, and I'm really proud of that because I love food, and I didn't eat a lot of food. And it was really tempting. In fact, last night my mom made beef stroganoff, and Danny went over and ate it. And my mom asked me, and the house smelled really good. And she said, "Do you want some?" And I said, "Nope." And I walked out of the house because I actually couldn't be in the house any longer. Otherwise I would have said yes. So, and I didn't want to ruin that. I think personally, Danny and I have had the best year together so far. When we first started dating, it was rocky and tough. We both had a lot of growing to do. So I think this year, emotionally for the two of us, it's been one of our best years so far. I maintained exercising daily for a whole year, which would have seemed impossible to me a couple years ago. And I started loading my own training videos on YouTube, and I'm going to start applying them during trainings. And I think I've become a more positive person. I think especially due to personal development and connecting with you guys. Like Thursdays, I am so psyched. Like ask Danny, I am like screaming after these calls. I like talk about it the rest of the night, and he's like, "Can you shut the fuck up?" Oh my god, that was like 3 hours. Like, I know you don't say that. Anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to say that I'm really proud of is the fact that I am still here. Do I make $1,000 a month with Beachbody? No. Have I helped a ton of women, take their health back under their control? Yes. Have I maintained consistency on my page and maintained my own health and fitness? Yes. And I'm still here, and I still have the same passion that I have when I first started this business. Sometimes it waxes and wanes. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't feeling very enthusiastic or inspired. And Darla actually said the same thing. She's like, "I'm feeling uninspired today." And I was like, well, she was like, "I don't know what to post inspiring on social media right now." And I said, well, then don't fake something, post something else, And, I think that it happens just like relationships, you're at an upswing and things are going really well. And then, things happen, whatever. And it's rough, coaching is just like a relationship. It's rocky and it takes work every single day. That's what I think of coaching as, is needing work every single day, just like a marriage or a relationship, a long-term relationship. So those are mine. Pam?
Well, Brienne, do you have to leave early tonight? Okay, well, we'll let Brienne go next.
Oh.
Can you unmute her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brienne.
Sorry, I'm cooking dinner, so I was just writing them down really fast because I didn't have a chance to write them down. I bought my own car this year, starting in February, I believe. It was on my dream board, and I used my tax return and finally did it after everybody was laughing at me that I said it for the last 3 years I was going to buy my own car and never did. Did everything on, now this is huge, I looked at this the other day, did everything on my dream board except for 2 things that I did last year. Like, that's humongous. So now I'm like, I have to step up my game. What is my dream board going to look like now? This one's huge. Stayed out of depression this time of year. That's huge. That's humongous, especially for trying to keep everybody else. Jumped out of my comfort zone. Yeah, you can help me here. Jumped out of my comfort zone and hit inviting on the head. I've put my income, my Beachbody income, back into myself. I now meditate every morning. I have gotten my nutrition on point, and I've kept up with all my coaches. That's huge.
Those are awesome, Brienne. I'm so proud of you. And we had a tough year, this team, and I think that's a good thing to bring up. Sorry, Pam, if I was interrupting you, if you wanted to move on. But I think that's a really good point, is it was a really, really hard year. We had some people quit that meant a lot to us. We had the, I don't know how to say it gently, but the breakdown of TWAB, and that was a big thing for a lot of people, particularly, like some of the people that were really heavily involved in it. And so those are really fabulous, Brienne.
Hey, Pamela. All right, so who wants to go next? Raise your hand. Nobody's going next. Pamela's muted. She's trying to talk. Pamela, go next. Can you unmute her? Okay, there she is.
So is this about Melanie's call?
Yeah, we're just talking about our accomplishments for this year. That's all we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I was when I watched the video in Synergy, I was thinking, I haven't really, I felt like there's times when you feel like you just really don't accomplish much. You just, you just get down on yourself, and it's so easy. And when Melanie had mentioned about the, if you've helped one person in this year, then, that's a big, huge accomplishment. So then I just started thinking, I've helped my husband, helped my mom, helped my good friend Danette so far. But the thing about it is I'm also helping other people. It's just, they're not ready to make a change themselves. And, I have to learn to be okay with that. because, you know, I guess Darla's been talking to me a lot lately that, like, she has to remind me that I was that same person. You know, I was
Right.
like that too. I mean, I was like, she would bring really good things up about like nutrition and fitness. And she would say, you know, you could do this, you know, and I was like, Darla, there's no way I could do that. I'm not that person anymore. You know, like I was when I was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, you know, like you just don't know what I've been through. And then come to find out, everybody else has been through horrible things in their life too. And, you know, even though you know that, it's like when you actually hear about things that, you know, people confide in you, you realize, wait a minute, you know, I just have to be that person that picks myself up again and stops standing on the sideline. And that's been a really big theme just this week for me, because I've got in my magic group that is still going, which, you know, I was really getting discouraged last week because there's some sideliners, which again was me, you know. I mean, I'm not putting anybody down, but let's just face it that there are people out there that are very negative.
Sure.
Now, and okay, so then am I going to take that personally and say it's my fault?
No.
I'm not running a good group.
No.
And then I'm just going to quit. I can't do
No.
that. And so
No.
now I finally realize it's really not me. It's really just at the place that other people are at. And I'm just being real. It's just, you know, and so I feel like my accomplishments have been really successful this year. I really feel like that after just saying, you know, I've helped some people. I've helped people think about things. I've planted seeds. And you know what? That's good.
Yep. Well, and you're teaching all those classes and you've gotten certified in 2 different Beachbody programs. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been certified now. You're like, that means you're like a certified badass too. Like,
exactly.
That comes with the certification, right? If not, I'll send you the paperwork.
Okay, but when you do become certified, there is one little thing I want to tell you. You actually do get certified, right?
Yeah.
So certified, let's just say what I'm certified in, Country Heat and size, right? Okay.
Right.
So you know there's different rounds, and each round has 16 moves that you learn. So you go home, and between your life, between coaching, between oh, my battery's low. Between everything, what happens is you have to be like at home in your living room. You have to learn the next round. So I think my next round that I'm going to learn in size is supposed to be a killer. It's round 8. And it's supposed to be just like really fun. So, you know, I mean, it just keeps going, but then that's what keeps you motivated. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just think we're all successful. I just think it's a matter of seeing, you know, that we are doing things.
Right.
We're you know, planting seeds is probably the most important part about it. And also working out ourselves, the vital behaviors. And also the personal development is very important. And I can always tell when I need more PD.
Yeah.
And that's something that Melanie Mitro brought up, and I've noticed I'm doing the last 2 months is I've amped up how much personal development I'm doing. I'm committing to one book, but I've been listening to the wake-up calls. I've been watching trainings and doing other stuff, but really focusing on the personal development. And that really helps you mentally, especially during the fourth quarter when things are slowing down, you know, when it's rough and people are busy, you know, just like Darla and I've been trying to talk for like a week and we just keep missing each other. And it's just like, it's, you know, discouraging and whatever, but it's fine. It is what it is. It's a busy time, you know, no one's fault.
Right.
So yeah, so that's important. I agree.
Yep.
All right, Pam, you want
All
to?
right. Well, I'll do mine. Well, this year I did a lot of, I used to have this small little group of people that I posted in their group, I don't know, maybe once a week. And then we watched, and I don't remember who it was, somebody talked about having a holding group. And so I took old challengers and this other little group that was over there and put them all into one group. So there's like 40 people in the group now. And a lot of times some of my challengers will come out of that group because if I host an event, they're one of the first places that I'll post it to see if anybody from that group is interested in coming to the challenge group. And so that has helped a lot. I did a lot of free groups this year. And I'm doing another one, the water, and Brienne loved it. And I think Pam did it too. The pyramid and water. I'm going to do that one again starting Monday. But just coming up with some different ideas other than clean eating. I mean, you can only do clean eating so many times, and I'm done with clean eating. I've been there and I've done that. Let's move on. More personal development, and I'm learning to do Facebook Live videos a whole lot more. And if you're not doing them, just do it. Just bite the bullet and do it. Valency, I know when she first started, it was like, nope, that's not going to happen. And now she's posting in our group all the time. I see her videos all the time. And I'm just like, yes, yes, she's doing it. And of course, Catherine doesn't have a problem doing those. And if I could just get Darla, I'm working on it. It's just not happening, but she's getting there.
Oh, she'll do it.
Oh, she'll do it. I'm going to hold her to it. But, you know, I did the free groups. I did 2 different Bible study groups. That was huge. My husband lost 40 pounds this year. And, yeah.
That is fabulous. So don't just roll over that one. Oh my,
Well,
holy crap.
That was earlier this year. They did we do a Biggest Loser weight loss thing at the hospital, and the different departments will do it. And our department does it. They're not quite as serious and competitive as some departments are, but there was several guys in his group. Anyway, they came in, I think, second place, but he dropped over 40 pounds.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So they're getting ready. They're going to do it again. So I don't know what his goal is this time. So I'm excited. And I got a blog makeover this year, which was much, much needed. And so I think it's been a good year. I'm excited for next year. I have my stuff written down, but that's next week. So, but I'm excited. I'm just really excited. So, all right. So who wants to go next, Angela or Valency? Valency's not saying anything. Okay. Angela wants to go. All right, go. I'll let Catherine unmute you.
You're unmuted. Oh, wait. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. I know what you said.
Heard that.
That?
Oh, there we go. What changed?
Okay, I don't know. My earbuds for some reason aren't picking up.
Okay.
So I muted myself without even knowing it. That's fantastic. For those of you who don't know, this year has been a real roller coaster for me. Personally and on social media and everything. It's just, I have been through the ringer. And so when I started listening to the video, I was just like, oh crap, things that I'm proud of this year. That's going to be difficult. But I actually, when I started writing them down, I was surprised by how many I actually came up with. A lot of them had to do with Beachbody. I became a coach, then stopped being a coach, and then became a coach again. But I really, even though I keep falling down and failing, I keep picking myself up. And that's really I don't want to say it's new for me, but I don't know. It feels good, just keep trying. And, doing the personal development, I've gotten back into reading. I love reading. I used to read a book a week, easy. I was borrowing books from the library all the time, and not reading that fast yet, but still reading. And there are two things that I'm most proud of. A couple of years ago, we emptied a storage unit that had a lot of my stuff, and it got put into my bedroom, and it's been sitting here for the past couple of years. And I finally went through it all and got rid of probably about a third of it and gave it away and threw away the stuff. And I mean, there were papers from when I was in third grade that I got to see. It was just stuff that I have been carrying around forever and couldn't open the boxes because it'd bring back memories. I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this. And circumstances happened that I had to deal with it. And I forced myself, and I gave myself no other option. And it was liberating. It just, I can look around my room and I'm just like, oh my God, I've got space again. I don't know what to do with it. It's fantastic. And kind of, I'm looking forward to my next big project that I can slightly procrastinate on and then complete, because I know I procrastinate. So it's just kind of part of the, don't look at me like that, Catherine. But anyways, the second thing that I'm most proud of is that I've taken responsibility for my happiness again. I, for a long time, gave it away. And I thought that, I could trust other people to know what was best for me. And that's not the case. And even though I knew it, I never really took responsibility back. And I finally have. And even though I'm still having ups and downs, it's like on this awesome upward path. So I'm just, going for the things that make me happy, because why not? We're only here for a short while. Might as well make the most of it. Help other people, help yourself be happy, help others be happy. It's like awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
And for those that don't know, Angela has overcome a lot. Her husband's permanently disabled, and she takes care of him and helps him, and it's a lot. And I am so, so proud of you. You are absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Valency, let's hear it.
Ow!
Oh, there I am. I'm unmuted. I gotta say, Angela, you just made my evening. I just loved hearing you talk about that, and you are absolutely on an upswing. I'm hoping to ride along right with you, because I've been working on a lot of similar things, taking charge of my own happiness and taking my control of my life. Things that I've been proud of for 2016. I finished actually more months than were intended in the PIO calendar, because I redid month one a little bit. I got from barely being able to, lever myself up off the ground at all, no matter how little I used my arms, to being able to do 10 push-ups from my toes. And I could probably do more at this point, but maybe not at the moment because of a current flare-up. But that is something I've never been able to do in my entire life. So huge win there. I have plans for bigger and better things above and beyond that. I got solidly established into a routine of fitness and eating well, to the point where I don't, even when I deviate from it and I indulge or I quote unquote slack off, it's really not nearly, it's not nearly as much as it used to be. So it's just been I'm not saying that it's effortless to stay healthy. That is certainly not the case. There's always things to work on. But I don't fight the system anymore. I don't resent the colored boxes and look at them like they're judging me. And I did for a while. And the funny thing is now I laugh at other people for doing the same thing that I did. I'm one of the biggest things that I've always struggled with is what I refer to as the scoreboard is, any sort of, when you're doing a goal, it's very easy to fool yourself into thinking you're doing better than you did by not writing down any data. That's a really easy way to feel good about yourself and get zero results. And it's very, very difficult to meticulously write down what it is you ate every day, even if it's not food by food. The boxes make it so much simpler, but it's the hardest part for me was looking at what I was actually eating and having it reflect what I'm writing down and being honest with myself. And that hard won honesty bleeding out into other areas of my life and influencing every choice I make, everything I do. Maybe not as much as I'd like yet in some areas, but it is getting stronger and it's gaining momentum the more I practice it in just tracking my food. It's helping me have a more realistic look at what's really going on as opposed to a wishful thinking kind of look. And that kind of, that was one of my ahas from Melanie Mitra's video today was affirmations without actions can be the beginning of self-delusion.
I wrote that down too.
Right. And that one hit me really hard because a lot of, in my experience for myself and what I've observed in many of my loved ones and acquaintances that have confided in me, a lot of depression is rooted in a lot of self-delusion. Yeah. And a lot of lack of action to get yourself out of whatever situation is making you depressed. That's one of my other things I'm proud of. I've been listening like crazy and reading like crazy with personal development, especially recently. I've been ramping it up because I do get seasonal depression and it has been raging rather strongly in the last month or so. Not really helped by the fact that my nerve pain and joints don't respond well to the cold. So I've been taking action and getting heating blankets and hot pads and wearing warmer clothes and, taking extra care of myself, which is also something that is, it does not come easy to me. What comes easy is laying on your back and crying and feeling sorry for yourself and gaining this whole identity around being a victim. And unfortunately, as Angela put the nail on the head, that gives all your power away. Yeah. And then, you certainly can't trust everyone else in the world to know what's best for you because nobody else is living inside your head.
Right.
Not that being said, there are some amazing, amazing people with free podcasts like Tim Ferriss and I'm blanking. Tim
John
Robbins, John T. John T. Yeah, I've been addicted to Shaun T. He is, I think Danny was putting it, Insanity Max is his soulmate program. I'm feeling like Shaun T might just be my soulmate trainer. I respond so well to him, it's a little bit dangerous. I have to really rein myself in because he gets me so freaking excited, and I don't find that with, I mean, I like Shalene, but I didn't get nearly as excited and jazzed up with her. So anyway, I got married in Thailand. We signed the paperwork here, but Yay. We had the ceremony. It was my first international trip because Canada doesn't count. I'm so sorry, Stephanie. I didn't see much of your country, and I was 15 and horribly, horribly unprepared to appreciate Canada and all its gorgeousness. Here I am bad-mouthing her country. Not really. But yeah, I got married, and guess what? When I was there, I actually got to hug a tiger. That was not just a dream board item, but it was a bucket list item for my entire life. So that was huge. And I cried so much that day and had so many epiphanies about personal empowerment. It was amazing. I have helped my sister and a few friends get started on their health journey. I am, even if they stopped today, which I'm not going to let them do. But even if they stopped today, I would still be proud of that. I would still be proud of the changes that they've made, of the changes that are more the longer lasting ones that have started in their hearts and their minds. I am still loving, snuggling, and flirting with my husband after 10 years of dating him. I think that's a pretty big accomplishment too, because one thing that makes me very sad is that both of our sets of parents they don't really snuggle very much, and they certainly don't flirt much. So we're hoping to keep that momentum going. I am, as Pam said, making progress overcoming camera phobia. I do have to admit I have totally shied away from the Facebook Live public in the last couple of months. I have let myself totally slip on that. So I need to get back out there. One of the biggest things that I'm very thankful for is I've very much relate to a lot of women out there that have some form of body dysmorphia, where what they see in the mirror is not what's really there. Mm-hmm. I have never had a positive body image since I was about 10. And it's been a long time since I've been able to look in the mirror and go, I built that, and I am proud of that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm proud of for 2016, despite all of the things that have gone wrong, and oh my God, have they. But those are so, and that's why I was really grateful for this exercise, because this morning I was sobbing on the phone with Catherine and just feeling like nothing was going right. And it is a very, very good thing. We need to do this more than infrequently. This needs to be a routine with all of us, to really give ourselves credit for what we're grateful for and what we've accomplished, because it's so easy to get caught up in all the negativity that's going around, and forget all the good.
Yeah. I just think it's important because we talk, and even I think it was this week, I think Amanda posted over in the other Facebook group, she wanted us to answer the 10 questions and that she had posted, and she talked about your goals, but we never talk about what we've accomplished right now, the here and the now, and what I did 6 months ago and 2 years ago. Would I have done that? No, not even a chance. And even today I have I started on my business page on Thursdays is my coach opportunity. So last Thursday I did a live video about what I do. And then today I shared my why, and I made it really short. It was short and sweet, to the point, but it was just a reminder of why I do what I do. And when I go back and look at my oldest, who's just turned 28, I look at his baby book or his pictures all the way up through, 8th grade, I think is pretty much when they kind of stopped. But all the candid pictures, I'm not in them. I'm not in any of those pictures. I was the one taking the picture. And if you brought out a camera, I wanted the camera in my hand, because in that way I could control who was in the picture, because it wasn't going to be me. And that it kills me now, because I look at those and think, he doesn't have any pictures of his mom. He has there's a few of me in there. And if I had my druthers, I wish they weren't there. But it's just sad because Caleb has his pictures, and probably in the last 3 or 4 years, there's more pictures of me, but in Kyle's, there's not. And it just really makes you stop and think about why you do what you do. And that's part of my why, is because I'm not going to hide anymore. That's just it's not who I am. And I'm not going to hide off of Facebook, and I'm not going to hide behind the camera. I just soon jump in the picture. Even if I have to photobomb it, I'm going to be in that picture. So, but anyway, so if you haven't done the live stuff, just do it and just be you. Don't get on and pretend you're somebody else, because it's not going to get you anywhere. So,
and that's a good point. That's something that, is a great way to relate to other people, is not only sharing, your journey along the way, but also reflecting and, talking to on your social media, talking to the old Angelas, the old Pams, the old Pamelas, the old Valencies, and speaking on their level. Like, I did a post today, or no, I'm planning a post about getting up at 5, because tomorrow morning I'm going to get up when my boyfriend gets up. And normally I'm like, good night, bye-bye. And I kick him out the door at 4:30 in the morning. And I'm actually going to get my butt up, and I'm going to do my Insanity Max workout. And I've planned a post about that, saying, like, if you had told old Catherine, even, 2 years ago, that she'd be not only getting up at 5 without needing to, but getting up to work out and getting up to do cardio workout, all of those factors seemed impossible. And I even put in my post, because I was thinking of it, because my thoughts come when I'm driving, unfortunately. So I use Siri, or I pull over to write it down if it's something good. They come at really inconvenient times, or like when I'm at the barn. And I was thinking, I was like, she would laugh in your face as she finished a pint of chocolate fudge brownie ice cream from Ben & Jerry's. And that is literally what would have happened. I mean, really, Evie and I, my best friend and I from high school, when something went wrong and the world was crumbling, which pretty much happened on a weekly basis when you're a hormonal teenager, we bought 2 pints and we each finished it. And this happened at least once a week, because there was at least one crisis a week. So for one of us. So, she would literally laugh in your face, and I would have. And now I'm doing this because I want to, and I wouldn't be getting up at 6, consistently, on the other days to do personal development, to meditate. I started meditating recently. I don't know where that came from, but like, I actually sit quietly and I don't speak for 10 minutes. I don't know when that happens. Like, when did that start happening? When was I ever quiet for 10 minutes straight? Like, and so you share that stuff, and, you talk to those people. You're talking to the old yous, and that's where you relate. And, that's where friendships and trust are built. And, so I just wanted to share that as well. I think
gotta ask an obnoxious question, because I know more than one of us is thinking this. What if you can't stand the old you? How do you talk to the old you if the old you drives you insane and you want to smack her?
The old Valency is very different, because the old Valency has TOS and chronic conditions that cause severe depression and other issues. And I think that that's a weird exception, and Valency's always been a weird exception. Let's, face it. And so, I would say you're talking to the old mindset Valency of things that you wouldn't have done. You and I have talked about that. The photos that you've done when you and Clint started dating, the photos you did, and the fact that you're camera shy. You don't have to mention why. Just the fact that you're camera shy, the fact that you're here on this call when you started calls. Tonight you can talk to, do a post, if we do a screenshot of this, and you can say like, I used to call in on the calls because I couldn't stand the idea, even if it wasn't recorded, that my face was on a screen right now. And now I get to see all these beautiful faces. I mean, come on. And they get to see my beautiful mug. So, you know, and just say something like that, you know, even that is old Valency. That's like a couple months ago now it's been longer than that now, but you know what I mean? Like just sharing little stuff like that. Old Valency in terms of TOS or for people that don't know, that's thoracic outlet syndrome. You know, and chronic pain is that's a difficult one. If anyone else wants to take that, you just go right ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, when I like tonight, when I was sharing my why on my call, even though you're sitting there, you're looking at the phone or their iPad or whatever you're talking on, and all you see is yourself anyway. It's just to remember what you looked like. I have pictures, and I hate those. Gosh, I hate those pictures. But I imagine that picture looking back at me and trying to talk to that person, trying to talk to Pam when she was 70 pounds heavier and she was miserable and she's depressed and she goes shopping and she has to go shopping in the women's section. And I shared this tonight on my video if you go back and watch it. But we, my first husband and I had adopted our daughter when she was 8. And so she was probably about 9 or 10. And we were shopping at the mall. I hated shopping. I hated shopping for clothes because I couldn't wear anything. And we were in the women's section because that was the only section that I could find clothes in that fit. And I can still hear it. She picked up a dress and she looked at the size and she said, "Hey, Mom, this one says 14 wide. Will that fit you?" And I just lost it. It was a 14 women's, but she didn't know that 14W meant 14 women's. She thought it meant 14 wide. She had no clue. She's 9 years old. She didn't understand that. I understood it, but I still remember it. But anyway, those are just kind of the things that you remember. And those are the people that you're talking to that are going shopping, maybe for that Christmas dress to wear to the Christmas party that they really don't want to go to because they can't find what they want to wear. So, but anyway, that's just how I kind of think about who I'm talking to when I make those videos. So, but anyway, so I think tonight was really good. I think like Valency said, we need to do this more often.
I'd like to do it weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. I want to do
I think monthly.
a post in Synergy, and then maybe a call as well. You know, depending on how people feel, and if enough people don't respond to the post, then we make it a call because y'all have to be there. So you know, and we should talk about our wins and our losses. Or you know what I mean? There's just like wins, losses this month, and how we're going to move forward. But look back in order to move forward. And because coaches are always like, you know, move forward, we're going to move forward with our lives. And it is true to look back at your successes and what you've done so far, because it can get really depressing seeing like how far you have to go. And we tell our challengers that, look at how far you've come, and you know, instead of how far you have to go. And although that is important, you know, it's very important to do that in coaching, not just for our challengers.
Sure. Yeah. When we do next week's call, it was interesting to me that Melanie broke down next year into what do you want in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, and in 12. And so when I wrote down what I want next year, I broke mine out that way: 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months.
And did you write down strategies in order to accomplish it within that time?
Yeah, but she said only take 10 minutes. So that's what I did.
Well, so for the call next,
I can write down my strategies. That's not a problem. I can do that for like next week's call. I can do that. Okay,
cool. And I'll post about that too. Let me stop recording real quick. Thank you so much, guys, for everybody who could make it on, and those who haven't, you know, comment below the recording with what you've done for this year.